Hey y'all, this is Will Long with Freedom Homes of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I want to go over a couple of things with you. People usually ask me, what does it take to get a manufactured home on my property? Well, it sounds like simple, but a lot of people don't realize there's a lot that goes into that, into the site. So I just want to go over a few things with you. I also want to tell you today that if you like what you see, if you could go down below on YouTube there and subscribe, like, and comment on what we're telling you. We appreciate the feedback if you don't mind to take the couple of seconds to do it for us. So a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm going to switch sides over here so I can write on the board. First thing is water. Clearly, you got to have water, sewer, and electric to get your home set up. You know, the big three. So water, typically, you'll either be adding new service and putting in a new water tap. So you always want to call your rural water department and find out, or city water, and find out what kind of cost is involved in getting a tap and making sure water is available to your site. You get out in some of the rural areas, sometimes you can't get water and you're required to have a well, a water well. And of course, doing your research on a water well to determine, find the closest well guy that's done wells in that area, look at the state provided information, determine depths and cost and what you might be looking at for water. But water tap, the reason I brought that up is because sometimes rural water departments, their membership fees sometimes can be $750, sometimes can be all the way up to $2,500 or $5,000 just to get water on your site. So you want to make sure to investigate water, make sure you can get a meter, make sure you either got city water or you can get a rural water tap. The other thing is with the rural water departments is making sure that they can add a tap. Sometimes, depending on the area, they cannot have enough pressure. They're not giving out any taps. And you don't want to wait till the very end of getting a home to find out that you can't get a water tap. So that's one of the things is water. The other thing is sewer. Are you on city sewer or are you rural and you're going to need a septic system? Well, here in Oklahoma, we typically have two types of septic systems. One is what we call just a standard drain system with lateral lines, and the other is an aerobic system. So, if you're going to need septic, what is my septic cost going to be? If I can tap into the sewer and get a sewer tap, what are my costs going to be involved to do that? Sometimes if it's in the city, those sewer lines are buried really deep. So the cost of running sewer can be a little bit costly depending on the depth, whether you have to cut the road. We've had those before where the road was going to have to be cut, and there was a fee for a road cut to be able to do that. That's also, I didn't mention on water when you get a tap, sometimes the water is located on the other side of the street. So they have an additional bore fee to bore underneath the road or cut the road to get your meter installed. So on your sewer, are you getting a standard system or an aerobic system? That's generally dictated by a perk test, or what we call a percolation test. It's where a DEQ certified person will come out and they'll do a soil test on your soil to see how quickly fluid drains underneath the earth. So that will determine whether you can do a standard drain system or whether you need an aerobic system, which is kind of like a mini treatment plant, if you will, for your property. And typical costs are anywhere between $3,500, $3,000 and upwards of $6,000. The other thing with sewer systems is that if you're in what DEQ refers to, I believe, as a drainage area, like you're near a body of water, within so many feet of a body of water, they could even require a really special type of aerobic system. It's called a nitrogen reduction system, and you could be into $7,000 or $8,000 for your sewage system. So tap into the city, get an aerobic system or a standard system for your sewer. And the other thing is, a lot of people don't think about, is am I going to have to clear property to allow a place to put that? How much treed up is my property? Am I going to have expense in clearing my property to do that? So that's your water and sewer. Electric is fairly straightforward. All the houses operate on 200 amp service, which if you go outside and you see your little round meter stuck in there and you open the box below, there's a main breaker in there, and you can look on that breaker, and if it's a 200 amp breaker, then really all you need is new wire dug in and run over to the new home. So it's not that difficult, but back in the day, a lot of houses were all gas. Today, a bunch of them are total electric. On the all gas houses, they were 100 amp service. So, or propane. You want to make sure that your electric, you have a 200 amp box. If you don't, you want to make sure that your dealership is making sure and getting you a bid or a quote to install a new 200 amp service at your site. And if it's a brand new raw piece of a property, you're going to have a brand new 200 amp service installed on your property. And that's the little wood service pole, and that's the little meter can and the little meter, the glass meter that measures your electric that are stuck in there. We call it a meter loop. But so electric, you're going to want to investigate electric. The last thing is you absolutely have to have some kind of a pad for your home. And that's really about water diversion. That's really about creating a spot where there's no vegetation, no grass on the ground, and where you have proper water flow. Water's not running under your house. You can't have any water under a home. So we're real big on that, making sure that you're state compliant on your setup of your home, that you've got water diverted around the house in all directions where water can't flow into the house. So we do all this. We have people, we have multiple plumbers, multiple sewer people, multiple electricians, multiple dirt and pad people that can give us bids for customers to do their work, or you can farm those services on your own. It's nice to be able to come here at Freedom Homes in a one-stop shop, and we know we send people out, we do that footwork for you and get that pricing for you so you can make a determination on what you want to do. So I just wanted to go over this a little bit today because a lot of people aren't familiar with a pad. You know, making a pad for the house. You know, is it 5 loads of dirt and a dozer work clearing a spot, scraping it off and building me a nice round pad on where I can set my house? Or is there going to have to be opened up at the road? Another thing we do is we do a pre-site check on every location to let you know, hey, we're going to need a fence post, a tree limb, we're going to have to open up the road, you're going to need a 30-foot culvert, a 20-foot culvert to get in the driveway to get it parked. So there are some site conditions on getting the house on site and building a pad, getting your electric, getting your sewer, getting your water. So I just kind of wanted to go over that a little bit with you. It's something that I don't hear people doing on their social media pages or on their YouTube pages. But we at Freedom Homes like people to know a little bit about what's going on. So check us out at freedomhomestulsa.com, and don't forget to go down on the page on YouTube now and subscribe, like, and please give us a comment. Any comments you have, we'll try to answer them for you.